Hi, it's Robert Mitchell, and I'm here at the 2015 Toronto International Film Festival. We're here at the final night of Midnight Madness for a film that's appropriately titled The Final Girls. Hi. Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Welcome to Midnight Madness.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
It's a great way to close off this Midnight Madness program.
Absolutely. This is it, man. This is the only way to do it.
Could you tell me a bit about the character you're playing in the film?
I'd like to say that it's 3 in 1. I mean, I've got mom, and then we switch to one-dimensional sort of character who realizes her mortality and grapples with that and becomes a real human being. So it's this arc of 3 characters in one. Mother-daughter, beautiful, grounded relationship that I get to play with as well, which has been amazing, you know, especially just coming into motherhood myself. It's a beautiful moment in my life and in this film, and Todd and I have talked a lot about it, and we just said, you know, this is a story about a mother and daughter sort of cloaked in this story of a horror film, and that's where we find ourselves, and I'm really proud and excited about that.
So when you initially read this screenplay, what did you like about it? And you're like, you know what, I want to direct this movie.
Not a fun answer. I connected emotionally with it. Have you seen the movie?
Not yet.
It's a fun, crazy, badass, cool, funny. It's a whole situation. But in the middle of it is this really sweet story about a daughter and her dead mother, and having a second chance to be with her mother in the middle of a crazy horror movie. And I had lost my father months before I read the script, and that was what resonated with me. And I wanted to be able to tell a story about the reverberations of a loss like that in the middle of a genre that does not take death very seriously. That felt like a very exciting premise. And also I love the idea of being able to take apart a movie, to deconstruct a film. That was, the movie's the antagonist. And as a guy that grew up loving movies, I thought that was a really cool thing. So,
could you tell me the character you were playing in The Final Girls?
Yes, I play Max, who is, she's a teenager dealing with grief. So, she lost her mom a few years ago, and her friends rope her into going to one of her mom's movie. Her mom was a scream queen, and somehow she gets sucked into the movie, whatever the magical powers are there. And Max gets to interact with her mom again. So it's this young woman kind of dealing with growing up and dealing with grief and missing someone and getting the chance to see them again and wanting to say one last thing to them, but not knowing what to say and how to save that person. So it's a young girl dealing with, big circumstances.
What was it like to act in this picture where there's so many different tonal shifts? It can be funny, it can be touching, it can be scary.
It's amazing. I mean, I personally have never seen anything quite like it. Reading this script, I wasn't quite sure about it because it's very easy that it gets lost with a bad leader at the helm. I met with Todd, and he just is an incredible director, a great storyteller. He had a clear vision of what he wanted to tell. And that means everything, because if you don't have that, you don't have a film. It's all over the place, and then nobody really gets it. So this is super special in so many ways. I'm excited for everyone to see it.
So it must have been fun to play with all the different tones and comedy and the touching core of the movie and scares.
Yes, and also it's very visual and very fun because you can sort of deconstruct and take apart a movie. So they can see the credits and they can cue flashbacks, and when there's slow motion, they're aware of it. And so all the tropes of cinema, they're very much aware of, and they can call it out, and I as a filmmaker can kind of play with a lot of that stuff, which was something that I hadn't seen in a movie before and very exciting.
The reality of it is mother-daughter relationship. Again, I feel like a broken record, but that's the base of it. It's the groundedness of this film, the heart of this film is just that. So it was drawn a little bit upon my own life, of course, as a mother. I love the screams in the background, by the way. This is very exciting.
So much excitement.
There's nothing really to prepare. As an actor, you really try to stay present in the moment. You have these amazing actors and actresses that you play around with in a scene. They're there with you or they're not. I had the pleasure of working with Taissa Farmiga as my daughter, and she is one of the most spectacular actresses that I've ever met. I'm so excited to see what she's going to do. But, as long as you have someone who's playing with you in the moment and you're being as real as possible in that moment, you know what your intention is in the scene, there's not much preparation. It's not like we're doing a biopic on somebody. It's very organic. Definitely.
Well, it was very nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
And my wife and I loved you in Trophy Wife.
I love it. Oh, thank you guys.
When you read the script, what was the initial thing that you liked about it that you wanted to be a part of this movie?
For me, honestly, it was. I love the mother-daughter story. You know, yes, it's a horror. Yes, it's like a horror movie. Yes, it's a comedy, but there's also there's a good heart to it. You know what I mean? There's an emotional. Woo, Malin's here. You know, there's emotional arc to it, and what really grounds the movie is these two characters. It's the mom it's the daughter dealing with grief, and the mom who doesn't realize she's a mom, and it's just a personal, intimate story in the end. If you just look deep down in.
Well, I read that you were looking for unprocessed imagery, and how that's not easy to do in this day and age where we've seen so many different things. How did you tackle that?
Unprocessed imagery. I love it. I go to the movies to see something I haven't seen before, to feel something I haven't felt before, to see a filmmaker, try to sort of move things forward, push things forward. It's so exciting to see a movie and be like, I want to rip that off. And so we were trying to drop the gauntlet in a couple of moments here with the way it was shot. There's one sequence that's a big action sequence that's done with four very long takes that are very nimble. We shot it with a motion control camera, which we're just trying to do things we hadn't seen before, because it's a movie about movies for movie lovers. And as a guy that loves movies, you want to just put the joy of filmmaking in this movie and not be shy about it, not stand back and say, I'm going to play it cool. I'm not playing it cool here. I'm trying to show you something you haven't seen before. I'm trying to impress you guys, and I hope that, there's some show-off moments, and I hope that I pulled them off,
I'm sorry, what was the question?